The main cover of our journal is going to be the cover of the French manuscript kit, and I love it because the front cover is irregular in shape to the back. So the back is about an inch shorter than the front. This was from a French manuscript that I have where the front cover is irregular in size to the back, so it's a little bit longer. As you saw parts of the French manuscripts peeking out, and then the cover kind of goes over it but not completely, and I really fell in love with that look. So we're going to be replicating that today using pieces of the kit. And if the irregularity bothers you, then you can most definitely use the little border trims. Just attach it to the back and it adds a beautiful and very feminine touch. So if you're going to be creating the same journal, then you just want to print out your manuscript, fold it right along the edge, and when you open it up, you need to either print double-sided or fill this up with some beautiful paper. And since this is the Flowers of Friendship journal, then I thought it would be fitting to use one of the papers and the paper from the kit, which is the poem of the Flowers of Friendship. It's a really special poem that inspired the Flowers of Friendship collection, and it has beautiful symbolism as to what flowers represent. For myself and for all of us, how there's a very beautiful similarity between blooming as a flower and blooming your relationships, your friendships. And I really hope that you guys loved this poem and the papers and the collection of the Flowers of Friendship, as there's beautiful and lovely sentiments written throughout the pages of this collection. So I'm going to be covering the inside cover with this beautiful paper, and a nice little tip is if you're using a thick cardstock paper, such as this one that I used to print out the manuscript, if you add another thick cardstock and glue it right on the top and try to fold it, you can sometimes end up with air bubbles. So what I'm going to do is, since it measures the perfect size, I'm going to trim it right where I need to and then glue this part on this side, this part on this side, and then that way it's going to be very easy to fold and to create that crease, and our journal cover won't end up being a wonky little mess. It'll be a beautiful little flower journal, blooming in its own right. Now that I have my two pieces of paper cut to the measurements that I needed, I then need to take my adhesive, and I'm going to be using this glue. I love this glue and I use it for fabric and paper, and I'm just going to make sure I apply a nice amount on the front and on the back. So now we have finished decorating the inside of our front cover, and that instantly changes the whole look of the journal. It makes me so excited to start choosing the papers. Do you see how special that is when you can see parts and elements of your journal peeking from the back? Before I start creasing and including the papers inside of the journal, I'm going to be grabbing the envelopes and I'm going to prep them, fold them, and have them ready to go so that all I have to do is assemble them on top of the pages, as we're going to have some really sweet interactive elements using the envelopes and also the beautiful border trims. And luckily the envelopes are already decorated for me. You want to start out by folding the outer little sides, it's little wings. You want to fold them inward, and then you want to fold the bottom, which essentially is the covering to your envelope, and then you want to fold the top. And in a matter of minutes, you have 4 beautiful envelopes that can be altered, decorated, or kept simply as they are. You can add them to journals, you can send them in the mail to your pen pals. You can do so many things with these lovely little envelopes. The next step is to go through all of your papers. Like I said, I'm using the papers from the kit, and I'm going to be folding them in half and attaching them, decorating the back sides, as these were not double-sided. And once all of my pages have been folded and glued and attached on the back, then I will show you how I'm going to begin to decorate them and put them inside of our manuscript journal. So I have just finished putting together the pages of this journal. I left this page a little bit shorter, just following the fold line. I cut this little piece off and attached it as a little pocket. This is a page from the kit. These are just pieces of papers that I have glued on the front and back cover. This is the middle signature, which is absolutely beautiful. This little piece of paper was a little bit shorter, but instead of cutting this lovely image, I'm going to be adding a border or a ruffle. This gorgeous image, this is from a vintage seed packet. This is probably my favorite image from the whole collection. It's a beautiful French floral. And then some of this beautiful paper. A dream is a flower blooming in our mind. And I just cut the excess and attached it, and we'll add a ruffle here as well, so that when you close your book, you can see part of the ruffle in the paper coming through. So now what I need to do is go through and pick and choose where I want to put my envelopes and my border trims. I'm thinking of attaching this envelope on this page right here, as I think it looks beautiful and it matches really well. And then I'm going to be going throughout the whole journal and adding my little border trims on the edges, gluing just the bottom and the top to create a little tuck spot, or you can pass this through the sewing machine. So this is when I have some fun going through and selecting all of the ephemera pieces that I want to permanently adhere into the journal. And then I'm going to take you along to choosing some fabrics and some ruffles to really bring this journal, this beautiful Flowers of Friendship journal, to life. the finished journal, you guys. I had so much fun with this, as it was something that I wanted to create for a long time. I wanted to create a really beautiful French style journal, but with the concept of the flowers of friendship. I used some antique laces and some ruffles and some sequins. This gorgeous antique French crocheted lace on the spine to cover up the binding. I used one of the border strips to create a tuck spot on the front out of paper. And in the tuck spot, I have the definition of the friendship of flowers, which is included in the kit, as well as this really sweet little tag that is also included in the envelope kit that just tucks right in there. Okay, opening up the journal. This is the front page. I wanted to leave the poem visible. Added a nice little ruffle on this piece of paper. Tuck spot with one of the tags that's included in the kit. This is another little belly band over here. Here in this little tuck spot made out of the border trims, we have another piece of ephemera. Here in this little part of the envelope, you can create a little tuck spot as well. So lots of areas for actual journaling, but you can really use up all of these tuck spots and the envelopes. You can put some more ephemera in there, do some journaling here. Here's a wonderful page where you can add an image, do some journaling or journaling on the bottom. And it says, "The petals of flowers grew into my heart." Lovely little sentiments spread throughout. The middle of the signature is absolutely beautiful, and it matches one of the envelopes. On this page, here's the little baby envelope. It's the mama and the baby all put together in this little text spot made out of the border trim. Another one of the papers with a sentiment on the top, journaling space on the bottom. This gorgeous floral paper made from antique seed packets. I love seeing my antique ephemera turned to paper. Ooh, the little tag fell. I absolutely love this spread. I think it's one of my favorites in the journal. But we have that gorgeous border trim on the edge to create a tuck spot. I used a beautiful lace as well as some sari silk, and we're gonna have the fabrics that you see here in a couple of weeks in the shop. Sweet little bundles that go with the color palette of this collection. This gorgeous floral, this beautiful little manuscript with a lovely sentiment. And then on the edge, I thought it would be sweet to just sew some sequins so that it catches the light right on the flowers of friendship, and some gorgeous lace that I had from my collection. And then on the back, it's the back of the manuscript in October from 1908. A beautiful little journal representing the flowers of friendship. Gorgeous color palette all throughout. A very sweet and darling book that can be used year-round. And this is the Flowers of Friendship collection that I wanted to share with all of you. I hope that you all enjoyed seeing not only the papers, the ephemera pieces, but also how I created this lovely Flowers of Friendship journal using a French manuscript from 1908 and combining it with some of the papers from the collection, as well as some precious textiles. I hope you all loved this video, and definitely let me know if you're going to be creating your own Flowers of Friendship journal, either for yourself, for a loved one, for a dear friend, to document what flowers represent to you, what flowers mean to you, and the beautiful symbolism and concept of blooming your friendship, blooming yourself, blooming your relationships, and blooming your creativity just like a flower. I can't wait to talk to you guys again, as there's going to be lots of things blooming in our garden in the next couple of weeks and months. But until then, I hope that you have an incredible day wherever you are. I hope this video has inspired all of you and has given you some inspiration. Remember, you're a beautiful flower that's blooming. A huge hug from me to you, sending so much love in this beautiful space where we're all blooming together.